Hey friends, thanks for joining me today. Let's look at how to cut metal on the metal cutting chop saw. Okay friends, so this tool is a very productive tool. You can get a lot done in a little amount of time, but there are some safety considerations we have to take into account. First one is we absolutely have to wear our safety glasses because this produces these little tiny chips that will flying off of here. The second one is the hearing. It's very loud. Do not run this without plugs or muffs, preferably even both. I use plugs and muffs when operating this piece of equipment because it is so loud. Third thing we have to worry about is we have to make sure our metal is secure in here. It's not like a wood miter saw where you can just hold the lumber there. We have a lot of force going on here and it's cutting metal, not wood. So we have to make sure we use this locking mechanism appropriately. When we are cutting a rounded stock, we use this piece that holds your rounded piece against the back fence. So we have to have this piece in there, slid down onto the piece that pushes in. Slide that in there. This is a backer piece. You can use a backer piece if you have a smaller piece you're gonna cut out here. I use a backer piece a lot. But you'll slide that rounded piece in and then make sure it is tight. If it's not tight, this thing is going to move when you make your cut. So obviously, this piece is too small to cut. We can't cut that. We would have to have a longer piece. If you want small pieces like this, get a longer piece, mark it out, and cut off a little bit. Don't try to cut this piece. But we can cut flat stock. We'll just need to remove this piece, set it aside, and then you can cut your flat stock. So this sometimes gets bound up. This piece sometimes gets bound up. So usually when I have to move it in, I like to lift it up and kind of let it float over here until I'm to the spot that I want to cut. Now, a lot of students use this angle, which is perfectly fine to cut on here. We just have to make sure it's tight. So we can put that in. Have to make sure it is tight. Oh, not tight. It started to tighten up, but it's not. So we have to undo it and figure out how you can work it to make it tight. Another way you can do this is by pushing it like that, or the way I like to have students do that is to put something in here. So maybe put this block in. And this thing's not going anywhere. So we put a block in to hold it. Let's go ahead and let's make a cut. All right, folks, so I'm gonna make a cut. I'm gonna wear these muffs so I don't damage any more of my hearing that I've already damaged. So in order to cut on this has a little safety here. You can't pull the trigger without taking this little bar here, pushing it back towards there. Then you're able to start it and run it and move it down. So we'll go ahead and make a cut. I'll show you how this works. So you can see it's not a fast process. It's not like the wood chop saw that comes down super fast. You take your time because you're cutting through metal. Now, when you take this off, be aware that this end you just cut, it will be hot. So don't just grab it with your hands. Grab it by the end you didn't cut. If you slide this over and make 2 cuts on the ends, use a pair of gloves, use a pair of pliers. Don't just grab it with your bare hands. When you're done with your cut, go ahead and take your stuff out so that it's free to use for the next person and they don't have to clear out the machine from what you did. The other considerations on this is once this gets to where the blade is no longer good, it's going to take a lot more force and take a lot longer to cut through, so you want to go ahead and change that blade out. Now, this saw is a metal blade cutting metal. We also have one that has a fiber type blade. And it is used the exact same way. Go nice and slow. This will just wear down. This is a 14-inch diameter blade that wears down as you cut. So when it gets so small, you'll need to replace it and not just keep trying to use it. So hey friends, thanks for your attention. Thanks for using the tools safely, because it helps all of us when we don't have those medical bills, don't have to rely on medical insurance, keeps that insurance down. So hey, I really appreciate the subscribing. I really appreciate the commenting. And I really appreciate you working hard, because hard work's its own reward. And thanks for watching.